Bonjour, hi. Welcome back to another coffee talk. For those of you who are not familiar with coffee talks, it's a series I have on this channel where every Friday I sit down with a cup of coffee. I sip on it while I talk about different topics that have been on my mind for the past week, and this week is no exception. Can I just start by pointing out how delicious this coffee is? I used the hazelnut Nespresso pod this morning, and oh my god, this is good. I've always been a sucker for hazelnut anything, but this in particular just hits the spot. But obviously, and as always, this is not the topic of today's coffee talk. Today, we are talking about ghosting. More specifically, getting ghosted. This is about to be good. I have personally been a victim of ghosting many, many times, and I have also been the one who would ghost. I wouldn't say I'm proud of it, obviously, and that's something I'm working on actively. As a matter of fact, I guess we're gonna get into some more personal details. I wasn't necessarily planning on talking about my dating life recently, but I guess there's no better way than to use personal experience to talk about this specific topic. So up until last week, wow, okay, I was kind of, I guess, seeing someone, if that makes, I guess so. And there's, okay, this is a very slippery road I'm taking there, but okay, let's dive right in. So up until recently, I was seeing someone, and it was I actually really enjoyed their person. I enjoyed who they were. But sometimes there's just that little je ne sais quoi that's missing. Everything on paper was there, but there was this little thing that I couldn't precisely pinpoint that was missing. It was like a little spark, a little something. And the old me would have taken the easy route, and I was actually going that route for a little while. I was taking more time to reply, and I was being more vague about my answers. And to me, that's kind of a form of ghosting, because you just let it fizzle out and die out. And I've done that repeatedly in the past, where instead of saying that I was not interested anymore or that I couldn't see the relationship going anywhere, I would take it's not necessarily the easiest route, but it's the laziest route, because I didn't want to face my thoughts and feelings, I guess, and I didn't want to disappoint, and I didn't want to, I guess, make somebody else upset or sad or disappointed. But ultimately, ghosting someone is just as bad as giving them an answer. And I know this because I've been ghosted in the past, and being ghosted it's rough. It's rough. I'm the kind of person who believes that I don't owe anything to anyone, and nobody owes me anything when it comes to dating, especially in the early stages of dating, where you're just like navigating the other person's interests and what they're like and how they act and how they talk and what they think. And I guess it's kind of true that I don't owe anything to anyone in those cases, but I do owe them some respect. Even though I don't see myself in the relationship with them, I've been trying to shift my mindset and shift my perspective. And the least I could do is actually give them an explanation out of respect for them and out of just, I don't know, not being an asshole. And where I'm headed with that, I guess, is that I know how bad it sucks and how unsettling it is to get ghosted. And I've been trying to, I guess, rely on this feeling and remind myself of how it feels to be ghosted and not apply it to, or I guess apply it or remember how bad it feels so that I don't recreate this kind of feeling in somebody else's life. Yeah. And again, speaking from personal experience, because that's what I do best, every time I've been ghosted in the past, it always left me with, I guess, little heartbreaks. I mean, I wasn't heartbroken properly, but it always left me with some questions that were unanswered. It left me with this uneasy feeling of disappointment, of self-doubt. I was thinking I was not good enough, or that I didn't say something right, or that I did something wrong. When in reality, it probably wasn't my fault. Because, again, if I turn the tables around and I think about the times I have ghosted people, it usually came from me, actually. And I guess, yeah, that did not make sense. And as I said, I think that ghosting is the quote unquote easiest route when it comes to ending a relationship or a situationship. And I think we've grown too accustomed to it. We've made it something very casual, when in reality, it frickin' sucks, and we shouldn't be ghosting people. And I think that also, when we think of ghosting, we think of not answering anymore and just leaving people on read or unseen. But it's more than that. It has different forms. It might be that. It might be just straight up not answering to anyone and blocking them. Or it could also be what I've just told you about, which is slowly detaching yourself from the person instead of telling them straight up, like, hey, I'm not interested anymore. And I know it can be hard to just face the truth and tell someone how you feel about them after like navigating the relationship with them and after thinking that it could actually lead somewhere and realizing it doesn't, or it won't. But you owe it. Okay, and that's I'm a firm believer in karma. So maybe keep that in mind and remind yourself from time to time that what goes around comes around. And it might not come back around directly as it is. So you might not get ghosted. But, and again, I circle it back to my personal experience, but I know that in the past I've created this pattern of ghosting. And when I would be done with someone, I would just do it all over again. And I'm really trying to break out of this pattern. Not only for ghosting, but for like everything related to creating new relationships. But ghosting and detaching myself from someone and breaking up with someone, or just like, I guess, ending the relationship or the situationship before I get hurt is my pattern, is what I do. And I guess it doesn't really have to do with ghosting, but ghosting is part of the pattern. That's where I'm headed with that. Yeah. And I want to come back to what I said about ghosting just being casually accepted by everyone, or I guess tolerated, not necessarily accepted, but tolerated. We just accept our faith because we've made it too normal. And that is not normal. Like, I don't know. I guess it all comes down also to the dating apps and social media and dating nowadays and how easy it is to have access to everyone and how we think we can have access to anyone. So we just stop replying to someone and move on to the next conversation. And it's my mind won't, it blows my mind. It truly blows my mind. And even so, that anytime I have actually had an explanation from someone, I was like surprised and I was almost happy and I was thanking that person for giving me an explanation where it's pretty much the bare minimum, you know? How crazy is that? I've been thankful when someone would end a relationship and give me some sort of explanation. I was like, oh, thank you. Wow. It kind of made me feel better about myself. Where I should have been, I don't know, I guess just, I have been disappointed, but I was a little less disappointed because that person gave me an explanation, even though it might have hurt my feelings, because I have many of them. I don't know, it just made me feel better about myself. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is do not ghost people. I could have just sum it up, start the video, say we're talking about getting ghosted, don't do it, thank you. But no, I decided to ramble about it for like 10 minutes. So, thank you for sticking up with me and my thoughts once again. And I think I want to finish off this video by apologizing to anybody who I might have ghosted in the past. I apologize. It comes from a place of, I guess, past traumas and old patterns. It comes from me. That's what I'm saying. It probably didn't come from you unless you did something very freaking weird and I didn't want to carry on with the conversation, but it probably just came from me anyway. And I also want to thank everyone who hasn't ghosted me in the past. Thank you. This right here is my cue. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you. Oh. Yeah, okay. That was like double cue. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. I truly, truly, truly mean it. Hopefully I have made a little difference in your day today. If you would like to make a difference in mine, you know what to do. And I'm going to go wash my pants and wish you une bonne journée.